I should be good to go.
I'm good. I'm good.
All right, give me 1 second. Uh, should be a pain in the ass. All right, welcome to episode 3. Uh, shit. Hey, Dress, I think you're still echoing again. Today we're joined with the 24th STS. They are, like we said in the post, they are part of 75th Ranger Regiment. Without further ado, Captain, if you'd like to introduce yourself, and we'll go from there.
Sure. Captain Dreamweaver. I'm the CEO of the 24th STS under the 75th Ranger Regiment. Um, yes, what what more would you like me to say about myself?
Um, like how long you been doing Milsim? You go and or yeah, how long you doing Milsim? What
Oh, I've actually only been doing
something like that?
Milsim for just now coming up on 2 years, I think. I started in November 2022 when my friend got me into Armor Forger, and then we joined the 75th, and I kind of been with them for about a year. Took a break for about 5 months or so, and then came back to the unit.
All right, next, uh, Jurassic, if you want to introduce yourself.
I mean, you want me to do the rank thingy, or are we just gonna go by names here? Because it doesn't matter to me.
I mean, we usually just do ranks and whatnot.
Okay,
But
so
whatever makes you feel comfortable.
I guess I'm senior in Jurassic Parts. Pretty similar story, except first game I bought on the new Xbox was Arma, and then I found myself in the 75th a little bit later. Hold on. All right, sorry about that. But yeah, I found myself there like I think last February, and I took a 3 month break back in September of last year, but I've been back ever since. That's all. That's all I got.
And all right, Omen.
I'm Staff Sergeant Fallen Omen. I've been doing Milsim for about 4 or 5 months now. Um, I got lucky to get in with the 24th guys and do this job. It's been great so far. I'm OIC currently of our gold team, so I do a lot of the getting guys to where they need to go within our team.
All right. So, what brought on the creation of the 24th?
So it originally started with just my buddy and I. We're both real life tech Ps, JTechs in the Air Force. And so when we joined the what was the Second Ranger Battalion at the time, We kind of help provide their Milsim fires just based off of real world knowledge and expertise. And it kind of started growing from there. We had some guys that were interested in just kind of doing their JTAC jobs, so we taught them to the best of our ability how to do that, as well as their JFOs, um, how to provide fires. And it was just kind of a small group, and it steadily grew from there. We started incorporating kind of the foundation for PJs at the time, and when we started bringing in those other jobs, the title that we went by started to evolve because originally it was the 17th STS, which real world is directly tied to Ranger battalions providing their JTACs. When you start mixing in the other Air Force Special Warfare jobs, it takes on a whole new moniker of what it's supposed to be. So that being the thing we were trying to incorporate, kind of forced us to evolve our name and grow with that.
I think it's my cutout.
Mine?
I thought you were. I thought it
Oh,
dropped
sorry.
in a
No, I.
sentence.
Sorry.
Now, what's TAC Ps and PJs? Are they the same thing, or what's the difference between the two?
No, so your four real world Air Force Special Operations jobs are Combat Controller CCT, Pararescue PJ, Special Recon SR, and then TAC-P, Tactical Air Control Party. So Pararescue men are your Special Operation Forces, highly equipped, highly trained medical team. They are specifically geared around combat search and rescue operations or combat search and rescue missions or isolated personnel. Their job is to be that medical aid to most soft elements, either that be SEALs, Rangers, Green Berets, whatever entity you put out there. If something were to happen to them, pararescue is the one that go out to rescue and save them.
All right.
Here, go ahead.
I noticed you said there's four.
Yes.
I know that there's a job in the security forces not a lot of people know about called Ravens. I guess there's the guys that go with the cargo craft and pull security. Is that not considered SF or?
So a Raven, or Dagger, which I believe both kind of they are assigned to AFSOC, but they're not considered by the Air Force actual Air Force Special Warfare.
Ah, so I became aware of that. We were just like, okay, that's kind of cool. Motherfuckers getting flight time and their asses are probably soaring from all the landing and shit. Because we all know Air Force chairs in the fucking cargo craft are not that comfortable.
No.
It all goes the cheapest person. Um, so what does like how often do you guys go on deployments? I know in first bat they were talking like they got upcoming deployment. What like how many deployments have you since you guys created have they sent you guys on?
Everyone. So the way that these guys are set up are to be enablers for those specific mission sets, right? So your precision fires, your reconnaissance, your medical aid and support, or your airfield seizure, that's what their job is geared towards. So right now, they're each team is assigned to a specific battalion, providing them support. So whenever that battalion goes to deploy, that team is out there with them. So they're on constant like operations or exercise or trainings with their assigned element. So since that whole deployment cycle started, guys have been constantly working with their battalions.
Now I know that earlier Mr. Who was it? Omen said he's a OIC in charge of Gold Team, correct? How
Yes.
many teams do you guys consist of?
Right now, we are stood up on two teams. I believe it's is it Blue Dream and Gold?
Yes, blue and gold.
We we were running
That sounds
three
like some Navy
teams.
stuff.
Yeah, we were running three teams, but we stepped back away from that to be able to better support our guys, to support the Rangers.
Now, are the teams built like with the same number of say like Blade platoon or Goose platoon? Like, are we talking like that many people in the team?
No, so it's going to be actually a lot smaller than that. So our current team structure before we do this next selection and they hopefully bring in some more guys. Originally, it was about 6 to 8 members per team, and you're getting basically one guy per platoon. So we recently were able to get PJ, SR, CCT stood back up um, to flesh out our teams more, which it's going to increase heavily how many guys we bring to a fight to support. But it's very small teams that are supporting a platoon. So, like one team might be 6 or 7 guys that go support that platoon, 20, 30 plus people. Then we bring 6 or 7 per platoon. So we might, bring in 18 guys, but they're spread out doing their job supporting however many people fill that entire operation.
All right. When you guys go on deployments with the Rangers, what does the I kind of know what do you call it? Deployments tend to last what about a month, a couple weeks or so.
A couple weeks, yes.
What would the daily activities during the deployment be like for Attack P or PJ?
So for TAC P, ideally it's going to consist of going out with your platoon and trying to provide fire support as best as possible. Um, Helping assist with patrols, convoys, sometimes base guard, but you're really poised or set up to provide immediate fire support, whether that be artillery or fixed wing, rotary wing, anything like that, or even ISR control. For your PJs, it's going to be similar, just not with the fire. So they're with those platoons or they're on standby to provide that combat search and rescue or mass CAS support or anything like that with medical aid.
I know you said ISR. Can you describe that? What that means or what that is?
Yes, so intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance. Sorry, ISR is basically like dealing with your drones, so your Reapers or your Predators, Gray Eagles, anything like that. Having just that eye in the sky that can kind of watch into a large area and try to identify enemy targets early on or potential beneficial things for the force and movement. The ground force needs to be aware of.
So, like, what you guys see in the air is related to teams on the ground. That way, they can be better prepared for it.
Yes.
And how often during deployments are you guys doing this?
For that,
Like,
I'll let a Fallen speak to that one.
We on a 2-week deployment, I mean we're out there every day, except we know we have off days on Sunday, but we're out there every day on that 2-week deployment. I mean, some days are a little bit slower than others, of course, but I mean, like all these TAC Ps, Jurassic can attest to this. I mean, we monitor 6 to 8 channels, so like these guys are like able to manage a lot of stuff. And I mean, we are constantly there for the Rangers whenever they need us. And they've come to like us a lot better now than uh, and use us and utilize us the way that can really benefit them. Because I mean, when you get overwhelmed by a bunch of people, man, there's nothing cooler than watching a helicopter come in and blow them up or calling in
so you
arties.
see the cluster strike.
Yeah, I mean, we got clusters, and I mean, right now it's all of our like GM assets, right? We don't have any live arty or mortars except for the helicopters. The helicopters are all mostly player controlled right now.
Now, I understand you guys used to have arties, or the Rangers used to, but the whole update kind of fucked that up.
Yeah, it put a kink in it.
I understand they're still working on that.
Still waiting for that. Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I said we're just still waiting on like the correction mods. Like we're talking to Tram. We had the A10, we had F18. And that was
I
really
saw that. one of the videos they posted in the S5 server, I guess someone did kind of a not really a Morales, kind of a showcase video for the 25th Fighter Squadron, where you see like F-18 come in, you got the A-10. I'm kind of surprised that they have the 24th STS, A-10s and whatnot. I'm surprised there isn't a gunship.
I think we're again kind of like the mod, just waiting on it. I believe the person that's working on the A10 is also working on the base C-130, and then they're gonna convert it to an AC-130 once they got that working. But I mean, just being patient and moving on.
It's gonna be testing nonstop. Cause
Yep.
it'll be weird. Like you fire the one of the howitzer, and just the AC 130 just goes flying off across the map for some reason. I mean, that'd be kind of funny ass clip, but
No, that'd be
fucking
hilarious.
you just turned the whole operation to one big Looney Tune episode. Uh, so if someone would have joined the 75th Ranger Regiment, what would they have to do in order to be selected for the 24th STS? Because I take it there's selection, that there's more stuff after that.
Yes. So they have to meet their minimum time with their assigned battalion, unless we are in the pubs per chance or happen to kind of run into somebody who's considering joining and we're able to talk with them up front. But they got to meet their minimum time. Um, Once we have our upcoming ANS that we post, we just put the feelers out there, let people know, like, hey, if you're interested, submit the application. They'll submit the application, come across to the STB, and then they'll go through their ANS or our assessment and selection, which is a 3-day course where we more so don't look at how well you perform, but just how you are overall as a person. Because we're going to teach you what we need you to know. We're give you the skills. We're going to educate you. We're going to teach you whatever the mission said it's supposed to be to bring you up to speed. But if you're not just, as a foundationally good person, or you don't mesh well with the team, or you have some characteristics that we don't think would work with keeping our team cohesion, we're probably not going to bring you over. Ideally, we just want somebody that's going to be a strong person, just characteristically. So
Someone, pretty much someone that's a team player
pretty
instead of
much.
someone that's not trying like to. Well, you can't really glory hound in armor forger or some shit like that.
Yeah, just an overall good person. Like it's like honestly, I think being a good person is heavily underrated to some people. Like you think, oh, I went to the school, I have this knowledge. Like, sure, yes, the knowledge is beneficial, but like if nobody likes to work with you, that doesn't really do anything for us. I'd rather you be a good, coachable, likable person that we can work with and have fun being around and is willing to learn, adapt, rather than you already show up and you think you're kind of shit hot at the job, but you're hard to mesh and get along with.
Now, say there's someone that comes in like for I guess I'll use myself as this because I came into this uh, ranger unit and I never really played armor forger. So if someone were to come in, they haven't really played armor forger, but they're learning, like they're going to pubs, they're getting the gist of um, how the game mechanics works, like switch weapons, throw grenades, shoot rockets, bandage, morphine themselves, apply tourniquets, sailings, the whole shit, the whole 9 yards. Like, would they have a shot at
Yes, yes,
joining?
I can
100%. So yes. Go ahead, caller. Go ahead, caller.
I can speak from experience. I came in here never playing Arma, bought it about a week before, and I had a buddy that was with the 24th, and I got lucky enough to get picked up in the ANS cycle. They've taught me everything that I've needed to know about it, and I'm still learning right now. But I'm fresh, never went to a Ranger bat, came straight into 24th, which I mean, I had a background on some stuff, but that helped a little bit, just being able to apply that to game knowledge. But Dream, Tango, Solus, even Jurassic has helped me a ton to get the knowledge that I need of the game. So I mean, it's doable for sure.
Yeah, but doing this whole Milsim stuff for a while. You don't really see too many like Air Force Milsims. Like the last one I was technically part of was the what the fuck was he? He's either ordnance or something else with the Air Force, and he ran a fire squadron. And that's back when like Battlefield you could have like the commander spot open,
Yes.
and I guess what he decided is like, oh, if you have that, just you could fucking pull in a AWACS. So that's mainly all this shit I did is watching them fucking dick around. I'm sitting here, I was calling out shit. Uh, how big does the 24th, like how big are you guys trying to get? Like, uh, are you trying to fill up like 4 teams, 10 teams? What are we looking at?
So our current goal right now is 4 full teams. So um, our structure is about, like I said, 6 to 7 guys per platoon. Which if there's 3 platoons in a company, I want 3 teams. So 21 guys to fit that one company. 2 companies in the battalion. That's 42 guys right there. So I want enough people to help match whatever the support is for however large the battalions get. Um, right now, it's those 4 full teams to to be able to match their deployment schedule and give everybody that enabler support, so nobody's lacking on it. So our guys aren't stretched thin trying to work with two battalions at a time or battalion every other 2 weeks.
All right. Now, if more people end up, because I want to take it, once you have 14 stretched, would there still be ANS or what do you call it? ANS selection, or would that kind of cease until a further need is needed, or how the
It,
hell do you put it?
yes, it probably would. We'd probably put a cap on it until we have the need for it. Like if guys are getting kind of burnt out on the game and they're just like, hey, I got some other or some life happens to pop up and they got to go deal with that and they're not going to be around anymore. Yeah, we'll have hey, we got a few spots that need filled. Let's take some people. We've also been working with talking about trying to explore the EUAU option for guys that are in different time zones. Like we have a few members now that it's sometimes it's
That was
hard for
actually
them
going to
to
be my
get
next
on.
question.
So yeah, sometimes it's hard for them to get on, and we try to do our best to accommodate everybody. But like having that option allows us to again get more people involved and keep providing that support, which is really just what we want to do is just keep letting people have fun with uh, the job knowledge that we have or that we provide.
Right. That's actually going to ask. Like, I know you said you wanted to have four teams. Could like one team be AU, the other team be EU?
Yes, so I think we actually have a decent amount of EUAU guys with this upcoming selection. So we told the person who's going to be our OIC for that team that we'll have enough with each job that we could give him his own little team, and they'll be dedicated for whatever platoon or company has EUAU. And as that grows on the Ranger side, we're going to try again and match it like, hey, if we can get a full team that's just dedicated EUAU, and then cool. Just that'll give us again more room for our guys and more room to help them grow.
Right. So, what would you say is your most like your favorite part of being uh in the 24th STS? Like, what's your favorite thing to do?
Honestly, it's to GM for the guys. So I've been doing the real world job for a little over a decade now. So I'd say honestly, my favorite part is just being able to take the skills that I've learned and translate it over to the game and bring that experience to them. And kind of hearing the fun that they have being able to control aircraft or employ artillery or do stuff with ISR, different things like that. Like it makes me feel good because I like people taking a vested interest, and it also encourages some of the younger guys that like have interest in the military, it gives them something like, oh, is this really what it's like? Like, yeah, this is what we train to, what we practice. So kind of helping inspire that next generation as well. I just like seeing the joy from dudes that have fun dealing with the job or understand it.
All right. I noticed one of our previous, I think it was last week's FTX where we did it at night. Uh, I'm not sure. I think it was Thunder that was there. Uh, can you go by step of so you got Emmy Town ahead of you, ahead of some rangers you got rangers approaching the town. You know there's about a shit ton, or I say a shitload of enemy combatants in it. What what are the steps you would go through to uh, call in support? Like what kind of orders could they expect to see dropped on the enemy?
So if I'm GMing and it's nighttime, I'm probably going to use an AC-130, maybe a two ship of F-15s, two ship being just two F-15s, um, and the artillery that we have available, and hopefully we have some rotary wing on station as well. But those are probably the assets I'm going to use, and based on whatever the drone feed is giving me about hey this is where the enemies are at or where they're located, I'll try to figure out what's going to be the best pairing to not slow the Rangers down, but also not have them affected by whatever weaponry I'm trying to use. So ideally, that AC-130, it being a lot more responsive, it having a variety of weapons, and the area it can cover. So like if say the Rangers are a few hundred meters or 500 meters out, okay, I can hit that area with a few 105s and soften it up. Then as they get closer, change it to some 40 millimeter for that
Get the
cannon.
40 millimeter 105s and what was it 25 millimeter?
Yes. Or 30 millimeter, depending on the model. But I'm gonna, as they get closer, I'm gonna change the weapon type to increase the accuracy and also reduce the risk of them being affected by the impacts. So that way, I'm not making them stop. Oh, wait for me to do this. Like, no, keep doing your thing. I can adjust and go on the fly, and it should soften up the areas so that you have an easier time getting to your objective.
All right. Uh, all right. Well, gentlemen, that's about all the questions I have for you guys today. Again, we appreciate you guys taking the time out of your days to come talk to us on this in the field. Uh, I hope to see you guys on the next deployment.
Absolutely. Thank you for taking the time to speak with us.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
For sure.
Well, and everyone that's either watched or just turned it in, we will have this on YouTube later tonight. And like that, we are out.